Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Miss Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent. Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Miss Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent.
And I'm gonna call her my little sweetheart. She's only 16 years old, guys, but she's coming up here to pour her heart out on the mic today. And this is gonna be her first time. Yeah. So we're gonna welcome Miss Imani. You need me to raise it up for you?
Maybe. Okay, hi, I'm Imani, yeah. This is, I didn't really prepare like an actual poem for today, but I'll read my Happy Mother's Day poem.
Okay.
It's not Happy Mother's Day, but okay.
You take your time.
Got it.
Time to the
Got it.
You
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Happy Mother's Day, a poem. There will be an attempt to keep this rush of affection away from the hands of misogyny. I tend to have that effect on any piece of writing that these long, scarred hands touch. But enough about me. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers of the world, the heroines, the maidens, the pillars of strength that every daughter out there has. Happy Mother's Day to the sanctuaries, the figures of goddesses in peak frames. This is not a poem of grace or general praise. This poem is an apology. I am sorry to every mother out there that the world has turned against you. I am sorry, deeply, that the only way you can carry yourselves is the way that your backs are braced by your own hands. I am sorry, dearly, that you all are not my own mother and grandmother. My mother, a queen of her words, emotions pooling in her chest, unable to be pulled out properly. She is a woman of broken sorrows, a woman of curled parchment, a woman who knows that hell no, I am not one of your little friends. She is a woman whose laugh is as precious as the gems of jewelry that she cannot keep found. My mother is the embodiment of love that has been killed and revived again and again. You cannot get rid of a lady's heart and expect it to stay buried. My grandmother, a warrior, a brave soul who looks people in the eyes, and I'm not doing this today. End scene, roll the credits. Her door is closed. She is a woman who works, and you wouldn't guess what she comes home to do. She works. That is a virtue and sin of this family. We work, and again, you would never guess what we do when we get home. We work. My grandmother is a woman of worship, whose faith is pressed into the wood edges and curves of her bones. She has lived through hardships and beatings, and yet still she is here. You cannot beat a woman and expect her to stay down. Translation: you will not lay a hand on my mother and grandmother and expect them to lie forever resting on the ground you put them on. So, happy Mother's Day to the women of my family who stood and continue to stay strong and unrelenting. Thank you for carrying your children. No matter those moments where you might have loosened your grips on them, no matter those moments where you forgot exactly where your children were in the wisp of the world's effect on them. Thank you for acting as our shield ever since you came out of that hospital bearing us. You might not understand it, this rush of words and praises and wishes, but this is an apology, a thank you, a warning that this is not yet over. But think of today as any other day. Think of Mother's Day as any other day. You are loved dearly every single day. Today is nothing but a normal evening wrapped in pretty silver bows, thrown in glitter. Today is just an accessory to the devotion you are given throughout the year. Thank you, mother and grandmother. Today for acting as the built-in blocks to our bodies. You are the protectors, the ladies who crack themselves to bear us. Thank you, for no amount of gratitude can show just how much we worship you. And happy birthday.
You on the right path, dog. That was awesome. Okay, so we're gonna run this one back and rewind and then go back forward again. So, like I told you before, I met this amazing poet years ago, and he's still doing his thing. So I'm gonna bring to the stage now Mr. Duriel.
That was amazing. Wow. I had a whole speech to say about you before I got there, but my mind is blown. You just make me want to go home and be an even better father. Y'all doing an amazing job. That's what's up right there. What's going on, everybody? I'm doing pretty good today. My name's Joriel. I go by the nickname of Ghost. There's a whole story behind that, but we're going to get into this today. It actually has a beat to it. It is a spoken word poem. I gave it a name today when I just thought about it. I'm gonna call it the response to her pain.
All right.
So here we go.
Are you kidding me? She's a kid, bro. You're 22. You've been with me. We've been together for this entire time.
Well, we had one on and off.
That was because of you. Because you wanted to dump me to go be with some other girl. Every time I didn't do nothing but love you and cherish every moment with you, even the ones we didn't even do nothing but sit and talk. The little things matter. They matter. Just a look at you matters, bro. Just to smell you when I get a chance, bro. Give you a hug. When I hug you, there's nothing else there. I feel like I'm floating. Okay? When you kiss me, I feel like there's nothing that can hurt me.
I really messed up on this one. Now I just gave my heart away, hoping for another day, hoping I can save our relationship. But reality, and I know this may not be a fact in life. She's gone right now, with a sacrifice. I needed when I needed her, but she wasn't there. I tripped out when I tripped, cause I thought she didn't care. That wasn't the truth. She was overnight working hard, trying to get money on the table to keep up the squad. Like, oh God, I'm losing my mind up in this night, and I don't know which way I'ma go, left or right, and that is for sure. Whether I'ma be here overnight, and I'm losing out on life. Fuck, I'm losing on my fight. Gotta pick it up, cause I got 3 kids in the room, and they need their daddy. Then I gotta clean up Western room before she gets home and cause another scene. I'm the reason her presence is always meaningless. Now I gotta understand where she's coming from, and she only wants to spend time with me, but I run, always at work, always on the clock, justifying the love that hurts. So you know there is no denying. I stayed trying, I never gave up. It's like I love you, but I feel like this love was not enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. It was a short notice. I wasn't prepared, so that's all I'm going to do today, but I will be back and do some more. Thank you. Hey, good job again. Keep doing you. I mean, if I got some
encore. I will let you run it back. Give it up for Ghost. That was awesome too. Y'all enjoy yourselves?
Yeah.
So everybody's taller than me.
The chair's falling.
I don't want to keep moving the weight stands. But, so, being that you mentioned this, I'm going to give you a little bit of this poem that I wrote. You know, we went through a really hard time with COVID, but outside of COVID, you know, COVID was like something that just came in all of a sudden, you know, but I noticed that the black men in our community are dealing with struggles that they deal with before COVID, during COVID, after COVID. To me, it seemed like the media made it seem like, oh, this is new. But you know, being born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, Northside Highland Park, it's not new, in my opinion, you know. So, I wrote a letter to my young black man. Dear you, I'm writing a letter to you. Dear you, I love you. I need you to see the value in you. The streets don't own the path your feet grace. Tomorrow's not promised to a soul. No need to quicken the pace. You may think you are doing what is needed to survive, but the strength that you possess deep down inside can be unlocked. It can reveal more than what you think you possess. Look at you. Look to your left. You see your sister, the one in the dress. She is stressed beyond the measures your eyes can see or the vibrations your ears receive. Her soul cries every time you cross over that threshold, not knowing the next time she will get to hold a minute of your time, or if the last time was the last time. Look to your right, where your leading lady rests, down on her knees praying, God, please bring my baby back to me. Dear you, sometimes it seems as if the solution in front of you is the solution that's best. But the bird's eye view, though tough, though uncomfortable, though slow, may be the best. Look behind you at the people watching you so they can learn which way to go, learn right from wrong, learn how to be strong. Shedding tears is not a weakness. Feeling pain is a part of growth. Running from both does nothing but eat at your soul. Dear you, look up to the sky. All the angels that are present, all the ones that do fly, all the ones you miss dearly, all the ones watching your back. Saving you and saving wasn't in the cards. They ain't done yet. We are never invincible. Everyone with eyes can see. That's a mental thing we must accept and continue to be. From the moment your eyelids move upward to your big toe touching the ground, as you lock up that front door, you have an angel around. Grace and mercy follow your steps, even when you're at war with yourself. You didn't make it out by accident. Your purpose ain't been fulfilled yet. No amount of talking will convince you. You don't have to see to believe. You don't have to encounter to know. You don't have to fail to grow. Dear you, raise your head. Look forward to your future. The opportunities you desire are waiting to greet you. When one door closes, that just means it wasn't the way. You have many doors around you. You can pick a new one today. Dear you, I do love you. Dear you, I hope and pray that you love you enough to hear what I have to say. Dear you, you are powerful. Dear you, you are strong. Dear you, you will persevere no matter what you've done wrong. Dear you, tomorrow waits for no one. Dear you, it's time to refocus, not the time to fall. Dear you, I see your struggles. Dear you, I feel your pain. Dear you, after the rain, the sun will shine again. Yeah. So the next person that's going to come and grace us with her multifaceted talents, I need to create a word to define her because I don't think they have one in Webster's dictionary yet. But because she's such an amazing person, like to know her is a blessing in itself. She's the co-owner of Harlym Bluez. We can start there. Wow. But her resume is so extensive that it will like wow you. So she's a singer, an actor, a poet. She probably could dance too. I ain't never seen her bust a step, but she played basketball, so I know she got some feet moves, you know what I'm saying? She's a DJ, she has her own band, she be playing the keyboard, singing, directing, you know what I'm saying? She plays other instruments too, I just don't remember everything that she does. She probably don't remember everything that she does. I can tell you that, I got it written down somewhere, sis. That's what she said. So I want you to give it up for my big sister. She's helped me through a lot, and even just being in her presence sometimes is enough. Miss Teshia, LeSane herself.
So I'm gonna do. Marquis, we're recording. You're walking past the camera. I said you might need to move the camera because I won't have to keep coming by. All right, so I'm gonna do. Imani, what middle school did you go to? You look familiar. Oh, okay, you look very familiar. I have to figure out where I know you from. I'm an educator and, oh, those are a few things you missed. Yeah, mental health counselor and done all types of summer programs. And so I feel like I've seen Imani somewhere. But, so what I want to do, I'm going to do this poem I haven't done in a while. I hope I remember it. If I don't, I'll just make up something. So this poem kind of like speaks to people like us. You know, everybody can't be the Michael Jacksons or the Madonnas or the Rihannas or the Lil Wayne or the Drake. But how many of y'all go to like a concert and you remember the person who like opened for them? You remember their name? Yeah. Sometimes, like not all the time, but sometimes, you know, sometimes you'll remember that person. And so this speaks to those people, which is most likely us, the stars who don't always make it to the big arenas, but we still have artistry in us. I ain't no Ella, Billy, or Dorothy, you see I'm just me. I never had my name shining in big lights with big letters gleaming, but I know you see me. I was there, but you probably didn't catch my name. And even if I told you, I'm sure it would make a bell ring. Wait. I never had my name shining in big lights with big letters gleaming, but I know you see me. I was there, but you probably didn't catch my name. And even if I told you, I'm sure it would make a bell ring. Even if I told you, I'm sure you forgot, but I'm the one that they call the opening act. You see, I warmed up the crowd for the bigger the name, so even the little me's deserve just a little fame. I won't ask to engrave my footprints in gravel or my handprints in marble, but I too am printed on your tomorrow. So let me be the motivation you find in you. Have them begging for more because you did what you had to. Every chance you get, you make them recall. Because see, there would be no Stevie without Ray Charles. Every beginning has an end, and even I know everybody can't win. But I never would have thought that my grand finale would finally find me famous, when back then, no one could even name us. That's grand finale. So this is my grand finale here. I haven't done another one in years. Thank you. And what was the other one? Oh, so since Imani did a Mother's Day one, so I had to do a Mother's Day thing on Sunday. It was real quick. And I literally wrote this. My grandfather was like, well, I want you to speak to the women. They did a Mother's Day dance. I want you to speak to the women. So while I was sitting there hungry waiting on my food, I wrote something real quick. It doesn't have a title, but woman, sister, daughter, auntie, mother. Let me go back. All the fellas in the house, children, I just need y'all to stand real quick. It won't be long. If you are a mother, a woman, period, just sit. All right. Woman, sister, daughter, auntie, mother, nurturer of life. Many like Miss Sophia, all her life she had to fight. Warrior woman, survivor, resilient, strong. No matter which room she enters, she belongs. From a princess to a queen, she is the line separating love and hate and everything in between. She is bearer of the fruits of this land. If you can't find the strength, then your mama sure can. The problem solver, the best cook you'll ever know, famous for sayings like, one monkey don't stop no show. Big mama, granny, mom, mommy, gam, or whatever you so affectionately call her. On this day, I ask that you stand with me in honor of your mother. And every mother in this room, whether the she in your life is just a caretaker or she actually carried a child in her womb. Today, we salute everything, each of these women who have mothered a child, and even those who never got it quite right, because without these women, me, you, none of us would have life. Thank you, ladies. All right, y'all, so I'm biased because I think this is my favorite poet in the whole wide world. I believe she's my favorite poet in the whole wide world. And so we have had words from a very young lady, and we will have words from a very seasoned lady. And I say seasoned because Big Mom has been around for quite a while, but her light shines so bright. And I think probably every day I see her, the light gets brighter. So she's definitely seasoned, and I'm always excited to have her grace the stage. She is one of our original Stickz and Stonez featured poets, so she's going to be up here a little bit longer, sharing her poetry. But she is the grandmother of Tink, but she's my grandma too. So, and all of the others. She's a great grandmother. I gotta let them get in on it too. But she's my big mom too, y'all. And she is Harlym Bluez big mom. So can y'all make some noise for Big Mom? Yes.
Good evening. Glad to be here once again. Harlym Bluez. What I can tell you, sis, I've been writing for a while now, ever since about 94. And how I started, it was so amazing, and it still amazes me to this day. And the way I started was talking to a friend one day, just chatting away, was having a good time on that phone. Then Father, you came right in between me and my friend. You gave me words to write. I had to lay that phone down and I listened to what you had to say. I began to wonder, but kept using that ink. And from that day to this, you're still giving me good thoughts for reading and writing. Thank you, Lord, for a day well spent in using pen and paper along with ink. And when you find out you're doing things and don't understand why, you usually ask yourself, why am I inspired? What's causing me to do these things? Why am I going this way? And I decide to Christ, who gives me thoughts of wisdom, understanding, and love, to educate, reveal human sight, assurance, and give knowledge of Christ. For those who want to walk with the closeness of God and in a righteous way, so life can remain to turn from Satan each and every day, to help our fellow man to do the best we can to be concerned in every situation for others' health, well-being, also and self and communication. Well, that's why I was started through Christ. Christ gives me life. And even when you're inspired, you look at yourself and you're getting up and you're running and grabbing, okay, you don't know how you're doing these things. But when things hit you, you have to write it there. So when I write, I look around, seeing young and old dying, hearing people crying. To believe with Christ, there is an end to long suffering and pain, with all hopes that Christ will rescue us in the end. When I write, I find power in prayer. If we all stand for Christ, He'll win our fight, but there's no other that can. Today when I write, I know Christ will make things right. When bad news occurs and it torments and disturbs family and friends everywhere, when I write, I want to help solve someone's problems and life, hoping to show someone the way to heaven's door, with gladness and cheer while drying a tear. All this I'm thankful for. Now, when I write, I thank Christ for words which gives me sight, so that I may help others, and one day I can do more. And a lot of times we do things and we see things and We just don't understand why these things are happening, why people are doing the things they're doing. And that's because we just don't get it. We just don't get it. If we did, funeral homes wouldn't be filled. And a bunch of child, fatherless and homeless all around. That's because we don't get it. We could walk the streets and not be afraid. We would not do drugs, make, buy, or sell guns. We don't get it. If we did, the rapists, robbers, murderers wouldn't walk so tall because we just don't get it. If we did, respectfulness, cowardliness, restlessness, and hopelessness would not win over the best of us. That's because we just don't get it. When people walk out and marriages are through, sometimes we just don't know what to do. Bang, bang, you're dead. But we just don't get it. That Jesus is all we need. Now fall on your knees and ask him, please. And see what will happen with these. Guess what? Now, you got it. And we still like to accuse somebody else for our mistakes. We want to blame people for what we do. But let me let you know this. God's not to blame for drugs, crime, and gang. As a matter of fact, we are. God's not the reason we live and don't gain. For we are the ones who should be ashamed for letting down our God was Satan's the father. When slavery was alive and people cried, they knew how to call on God. For we are the ones when times get hard, we blame everybody else. God's not the one who takes people for granted. You need to remember we are. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you need to remember this. God's not at fault. We are. And there are times when we are seeing people and we're blaming people for things, but then you have some that when they see them, they want to know what's going on with them. And one day a young man went walking. He came to an old woman sitting in a chair. They began to talk. And this is what they said. The young man. Oh woman, why do you mourn? The old woman. My children are dying and my family's all gone. Young man. Why weep, old woman? Said you should pray. Old woman. No one ever taught me the right way. And he looked at her and said, old woman, God is there. Just talk to Miss Hughes sitting in that chair. Old woman. Will he hear me if I speak? Shall I speak loud and soft? The young man said, oh woman, it matters not at all. For his eyes is not so far that he cannot hear. He gives tenderness and mercy throughout all your years. He looked at her and started to walk off. And then he said, oh woman, just pray. He'll hear you regardless of what you say. So pray, old woman, pray. And a lot of times we see things going on, but when you step in this place right here, you can find all the comfort that you can muster up. Come to the spot, your tiredness will cease when you rest your feet here at Harlym Bluez. Wonderful people you'll meet. Mama's food is no joke. You'll find yourself wanting more. Fish, seafood salad, shrimp, oh my. These will stay right on your mind. Drink stirred with love and care. Tell others to meet you here. Now, guess what? I'm going to repeat myself. This is what I need you to do. Listen to the music, eat some good food, get one of those amazing drinks too. Here, where you sit at Harlym Bluez. This Tink stand on fire. This Tink has shirts that say Harlym Bluez. Put your order in so you can look as good as we do.
She always throwing that extra stuff in on the end. Now she slid that in there. You know what's coming. I just did what she said do. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? What you got to say? I know you got something. You trying to cry? I wrote this because I feel like that I am poetically gifted. But I feel like Black History Month shouldn't be a month. I feel like we walk in that daily as Black individuals. So this one is called Poetically. Black history may be a month for some, but for me, I live it daily. History lives inside me. Peace travels with me daily. As I conquer the times, educating the ones around me, feeding the minds, poetically flowing, poetry. Boycotting life's BS, Rosa Parks.
All right.
Having knowledge which makes me unfit to be a slave, Frederick. Possessing black power, racial pride, Malcolm. Wearing 42 and playing in leagues I wasn't designed to be in, Jackie. Never missing a beat, standing alone if I have to, Ruby. Winning titles, Arthur. Never losing hope like Maya. Unpredictable, Kobe. Brave and questioning, Langston. Self-hustling, Nipsey. Promoting equality and nonviolence, Martin. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, Muhammad. Becoming the first of many to be a single mother with a degree, building a business, doing me, Sadie. Organizing like Du Bois. Promoting messages society shies away from, Giovanni. Realizing ignorance aligned with power is the most furious enemy justice can have, Baldwin. History never deletes, guaranteed to repeat. Like Obama, it's time for a change. Need to rearrange some things, finish what the greats started. Their vision, we never departed. Encompassing everything we need to be. They put it in you, it's definitely in me. Together we will be the force we can be. It's power in numbers and the strength we need.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tish, are you ready?
I've been looking for my brother.
Oh, so she coming back to the stage.
All right.
Tisha LeSane.
Yay.
We be trying to get Mecca to come up here. Trying to get Mecca LeSane to come up here. And her dog game on point because she's just steadily talking like she don't even hear me. I know we tried. We tried getting the other day.
Alright, so I gotta see what I wanna do. Alright, so I think I'm gonna do. I don't have a lot of poems, but I do have some favorite ones. I actually started writing once I got into music. Like writing was my first thing. Like poetry was like my first thing.
We gonna take whatever you
And
come
so when I got into songwriting, I stopped writing poetry as much, even though songs is poetry and notion. Poetry with music behind it. So I gotta figure out, oh, this is one of my favorite ones. So this one talks about other people that get on my nerves.
All right.
And my mama taught me not to use the word hate.
Yeah.
But I'm grown now, so there's some things that I actually do hate.
You still can be
I mean,
fine.
that's the reality of it, so. Alright, so this is to all those people who do things that make me hate their actions. Yo, I hate it. I hate it when they get that look in their eyes. When they part their lips ready to spit those lies, I'm tired. I'm tired of so many broken promises of just how great things will be. False advertisement of what they want to be, they captivate me. Filling my brain with false truths when all I want is to be free. No, all I need is to be free. You see, a long time ago, I had to learn the difference between a want and a need. And I had to learn that karma is simply reaping the soul of your seed. That's why I hate it. Because they keep tricking me. They walk around selling a dream, have you rowing the boat gently up the stream, got you thinking we all on the same team, but wait, how? If I'm the one doing all the work. Then they convince me, take one for the team. No pain, no gain, even if it hurts. But when I start to ask questions, they threaten to keep me out of the loop, don't want me intermingling with the rest of the chicken in the coop. Quarantined from all of the other chickens in the coop, exiled, banished the scarlet letter, simply because I stood for something. Because I just wanted better. Better days lie ahead, they say. And so I wait. But they get on my damn nerves. Ooh, I just hate it. I hate it when they in your ear always talking about what you need to do with all of their instigation. But when the shoe is on their foot, they act like the same advice they gave you don't apply to their situations. Like, seriously? See, that's why I hate it. I hate when they will worship you and say you're great as long as you don't realize you're greater than. Greater than the greatest things they see within. So to remedy the threat, they label you friend. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know them people. Sitting at the table with your enemies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So to remedy the threat, they label you friend. Close enough to watch everything you do. Close enough to deter you from reaching all of the things God has for you. Close enough to trip you when you're so close to your mark. Then those close friends just so happen to be there to catch you when you fall apart. I hate it. Going out of their way just to block your blessings. I just hate it that it took the hard way to learn all of these lessons. See, when you start to see the truth in their lies, then they start to hide. They hide behind shutting doors in your face once they have slipped in. They try to contain you. They hide behind guilty by associations. They try to frame you. They hide behind encouraging you to embrace your wild side, but your light shines too bright. So they really trying to tame you. I hate it. I hate it when they sit at their table like it's the last supper. They praying for you. But my reality is like, girl, fight for your life. It's the Hunger Games. They praying on you. Realizing all of these things really gives me something to think about. But you know what? I love that I saw clearly before it was too late. So I'm going to end on that note. Because I can think of a million more things that I hate. I hate it. That's my liberation poem right there. That one made me feel free. Let's see what else I want to do. Ooh, I haven't sung anything, y'all. You definitely did. So you gotta sing something. What's that other one? It's one I got, I can't find it. My air poem. Where is it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't really prepare because I go to sleep to wake up and come back to work.
That's all right.
And so, oh, here you go. All right. So I have an update. So I've been battling like this thing called vocal cord dysphagia. And I have to take these breaths at all of the wrong times because my vocal cords don't work the way that they should. So I just had a doctor's appointment this week, another one. And they want to go in and do a procedure where they're going to put a microchip in my lungs. Now in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is the first part of the zombie apocalypse. Or maybe the second part. I feel like COVID was the first part. Now y'all want to go in there and put a chip in my lungs. So, and then it says it's going to kind of measure whatever's going on in my lungs. So it's a good thing I don't smoke weed or anything else, because they might be texting like, Miss LeSane, we are noticing some THC levels. So it's a good thing that I don't do those things. But no, so I'm kind of there. And I've been having some issues this week. I've been in pain from breathing this week. So this is a poem that I wrote called Air, to align with the elements with Stickz and Stonez series. When I think of the word air, I think of so many variations of life and or the lack thereof. The lack of living without a true purpose, simply existing, wasting air. Zombie-like, floating around like bubbles that vanished into thin air. Gasping with anxiety, the walls are caving in on me. I can't find calm in the thickness of the air. Lying in bed at night, I can't sleep tight. Nightmares, witch riding my back. I'm numb, can't breathe because there's no air. The Mojave Desert on a summer day, scorched by the sun. I need an air conditioner because I'm not conditioned for this lack of air. At the studio preparing to go live for the radio show. Shh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're on air. Packed tightly at the bottom of a ship, it's stifling with the smell of my ancestors' blood, sweat and tears, piss and feces, nothing but toxins, no circulation of fresh air. Driving in circles, trying to find my next destination, going nowhere fast, tires deflated, they have no air. Losing loved ones, they are gone unto glory, no signs of life. I look up to the sky and see a glimpse of their sunshine in the air. Poor George. I can hear him now, just crying out for his mom. He couldn't breathe because of a knee pressed deeply into his back, crushing out the life that once was. If only he had air. Walking through the city of Pompeii, a city that once was, trembled with volcanic lava, taking down every living and non-living thing in its way, a city that thrived for hundreds of years, frozen in time, just disappeared into thin air. As I read this very poem, the vibrations of the hairs on my nose lets me know that air passes in and out, but gets lost somewhere along the intricate patterns of my esophagus and trachea. Nightmares keep me trapped in this place, where I keep chasing my breath. Martin Luther King, I'm chasing his dream, marching left, right, left. But I dread daydreaming because how can you have sweet dreams when your lungs scream for air? It's heavy. It's dark. It moves through my respiratory system like sludge. If I were Charlie in the Charlie factory, air would be my fudge. A guilty pleasure, so bitter but then so sweet. The same air that chokes me is the air I need to speak. The same air that keeps me living minimizes me to feeling extinct. When I think of the word air, I think of so many variations of life and or the lack thereof. Air for me is a thin line between hate and love. And no one really seems to understand or even tries to listen. No need in pouring your heart out because your points will go missing. Imagine a life, or the lack thereof, where no one seems to care. How bad it hurts to breathe, just to breathe air. Air. Thank you.
All right.
Teshia, you ready? I know you got something. You had to write something just now. Ghost.
Ghost.
All right, y'all. So we're going to get Ghost back up here. We're going to have Miss Tink come back and then we'll be closing it out. We do have karaoke tonight. To all of the fellas in the house, and ladies too, but this is primarily for my men. Next Saturday, between 4 and 7, our daytime slot, we have a mental health forum for men. And it's entitled Making Amends. And it's spelled like amen with an S on the end. And amen, if you know anything about religion, pretty much means so be it. As it should be. And so we seal that in prayer. Amen. But for me, if you listen to the word amends, y'all know as black folk, we don't add the D, we're just amends, making amends. So it's also healing. And so the acronym is AMENS, Acknowledging Men's Emotional Needs. And we will have a panel of men who will be up here, and we will talk about different topics. I am a qualified mental health professional, so this will be a safe space, but it will be an opportunity to hear from men things that sometimes women don't know. Why? Because we don't think that we should ask. Men shut down and they don't feel like they should share. And so that line of communication is oftentimes blocked or blurred. And so this will be a place where we're really going to open the floor to questions and conversation to people who may be here. But for men to see that they're not alone and to be heard. Fellas, what y'all think about that? Do y'all think that's a good thing? Do you think that's needed? Yeah. And so I definitely, I know that it's needed just because of the field that of what I do. And just knowing that my young brothers to my older brothers, so we will literally have a panel from 20s to almost 80 of men. But then if you guys decide to come, we're going to start at 5 o'clock next week. If you decide to come, there will also be opportunities for you to share. And so this kind of comes from just things of trauma, grief, anger, frustration, feeling less than, incompetence, all of these things that men have to deal with. And a lot of men don't have the role model to even show them how they're supposed to navigate through that. And so we're going to use this forum as a place where y'all can lean on each other and support one another, and hopefully this will be a start to making the community around us better. And that's what Harlym Bluez is about, making the community around us better. We are only as good as the things that are around us. And if we're trying to grow and there's nothing but deadness around us, we can't do anything. So we're just trying to revitalize and bring some healing to our community. So I hope that you guys will share. This is something I'm inviting. I would love for young people 12 and up to come. I think they'll be mature enough to hear the conversations that's going to happen, but especially our young people, our young boys, Marquise. You know when you're in church and the pastor call your name and you're like, huh?
Yes, you'll be here.
I want to definitely bring my young boys, my young men, so they can understand and hear from other men, because not all of our young men have fathers, and not all the time are those fathers the best role models, and then a lot of times there's a void in that relationship, and y'all know y'all children don't like to listen to y'all in your own house, but I know I ain't want to listen to my mom. Right? Nobody wants to listen to their own parents. So to be able to hear it from somewhere else, it's the village. We're getting back to the village, that's all. Getting back to the village. So Miss Tink, you ready? Dario will send me his stuff.
Oh, okay.
You sent it? Okay, so I'm getting transition time. Come talk to me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna let them handle their business with the music and everything. So, as I said before, I'm an author and a poet. So, I released this book right here. It's called Voices, Volume 1, because I believe we all have a voice. But, would y'all believe, I told you that somebody told me that my art wasn't socially acceptable? You believe it? You believe somebody said that? Yeah. You ain't saying? But yeah, so I was really told that. Like, a girl told me that when I first started doing open mics and stuff back in 2019, she was like, she listened to some of the stuff that I had put out on SoundCloud. Man, I've been writing since I was 14. So a lot of stuff she was listening to came from the younger me. Not that it's much of a difference. because I'm still who I am. But she said that my poetry and her poetry did not go together because my art was socially unacceptable. So I decided to write about it. You ain't never told a writer nothing to say it. You always gonna have published it. I don't understand what that means to me. I don't encompass that. So this one is called Socially Unacceptable. Man, I was told my art isn't socially acceptable. Do you understand what that means? As an artist, I sit down and say, what would people say if I say this or discuss that? Raw talent. It's enough socially conscious patterns that we share, even when we aren't aware. Get raw then. I'm teaching my son and daughter to color inside and outside the lines. Doing things to challenge your mind. To reach those minds that didn't know, it's more than one way to skin a cat. Being you is more important than fitting in. Raw talent. Saying exactly what comes to mind. Been getting in trouble for that since I started talking. Around the time I started walking. Mama would say, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. I'm choosing to fuse everyone's views into a lane as I walk this path in front of me. Not glancing to the side once my feet started moving, I created my own stride. Come get raw with me. Tink, still having to read the words I write to express them right. See, I've been writing all my life. But I woke up in June 2019. I decided to tap into me. Bringing me to you, I started a brand, a podcast, publishing books, turning my secrets into a well-read diary. No need to hire a spot to get to know me. I put me on paper for all to see. Tink. Taking strides, making intelligent decisions, noticeable moves, kindly killing it, raw talent. Not scared, but bold, not rude, but bluntly, I will be me. Socially telling those that don't see my words to look and see. Google me. Did they tell Van Gogh to paint with less emotion? Did they tell Da Vinci science and nature aren't the things your art needs to focus on? Did they tell Maya what topics to focus on and how to format her poetry? What on earth makes you think you can tell me?
That's right.
Just like the writers in our past to the artists in our future. I will make you laugh, cry, understand. I'm under demand, creating a demand, demanding to be heard, determined to reach, teach, empower. Killing the facade that don't matter. Climbing higher and higher, climbing what I will be. Raw talent, get raw then. Raw talent, come get raw with me. Tink, raw talent. Socially, I would rather sit at a table with the outcast as I cast out all of the trends. Oh, by the way, plaid is back in. Dark skin is winning. 30 is the new 25. I made that up all on my time. And if not one person believes or follows it, that's fine. But I will march with my dark skin, wearing plaid, looking 25 and fine. Proud as can be, because it's all me and mine. So, we're going to try this one more time. Alright, we're going to bring Duriel back to the stage.
Thank you again. Thank you again. I think we got this right this time. That's my fault. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Big must say, I'll shut you like that. He started it.
Waking up from my awoken dream, trying to remember while forgetting things. Got to the wedding with no wedding ring. This thing called life is never what it seems. High pedestals and overthinking things. I thought it was free, then we started running, realized we changed. The social media got us in an illusional game, and I'm stuck up in this madness. I'm feeling like an addict, you gotta have it. If there's any overtime, you gotta grab it. I'm living with my wrongs while I'm searching for my rights. Too many days is passing me by, like I'm stuck up in my nights. And I'm gone trying to find my way. But I feel like my wrongs just keep on finding me. And I'm working so hard to get paid less. From a payless job, get in the yard. They like, nigga, you gon' work this soft. This ain't your copy, stop it. It's my ideas, you tryna copy. It's one of the red from my beds. They're trying to tell us that. If we was meant to fly, then we be in the air like we don't know why. Plus we going everywhere. Catch us on the clouds for real, still getting high. And fly past us only cause flying on cloud 9. And fly over the check on the mongoose. Leave her money when I know that she's broken the rent's due. Like when shit get thick and they all look at you. We on the same page, guess we all gotta choose. Either you win, you'll die if you lose. Flying every day like we got something to prove. They ain't passionate about half the things that we into. Hardest negative shit is stacking up on my mental. When times ain't hard, feel easy, don't it? Write a song to my fly and put easy on it. Said you never gon' get it, cause you never really wanted it. You never really had it, cause you never really flown it. And go holler at my nigga KJ, he told me to get up, and them old times don't play. I'm trying to see a new screen in a bigger picture. And if I make these nails, I swear I share it with you. It's all love, yeah. Trying to tell us that we ain't gone.
That was so much of that. I knew you had something.
He didn't write that just now though. He had it in the
That was
pocket.
in your pocket of.
A little bit of
Okay, a little bit. I was just saying, I don't know, he might have been freestyling a little
He
bit.
did pretty good with that joint.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
You ready, Miss One? Oh! There's a girl coming back to the stage. Let me raise these up for you.
And I want to speak to Ghost on that. I'm glad that you were being transparent in that moment, because one of the other things that we're going to talk about is for men in our Black community. When is being in touch with your emotions not considered being a punk? Because that is so much of an issue for us. So those kinds of things, we're going to talk about it, y'all. We're going to talk about it, and hopefully it will be the start to something great and repairing and rebuilding. But I'm not going to take too much more of Imani's time. You want to show some more love for Imani?
Not a warning, but these were made not as spoken words, but I'm up here, so I will be speaking them as spoken words. I have two. One is a self-portrait, another is called gender fluid. I am gender fluid, I go by any pronouns, but it all matters what you're comfortable with calling me. I just transitioned to being gender fluid a year ago, so yeah. First poem, self-portrait. These are relatively short. Mother told me what schools did not. The world hated me, we hated it. The world feared me, I wasn't to be fearful of it. The world wanted me dead. She told me I would live. Grandma told me what my mother did not. My skin a golden melanin, but blossom, bruises, and wounds soon to fade into scars. My mind would age quicker than my body. Too mature, too childish, too emotional, too cold. Too much me, not enough you, not enough white, not enough male. Father told me first what the women of my family did not. I know how to set a table, so the very same knife I may place down will act as my defense. A man's hand was not to be held unless the stone I stepped on shifted. My voice can be my weapon, but I should still have a dagger hidden up my sleeve. I am my worst enemy. The world is only half of that. My art teacher told me, with the project's guidelines already dead, anyone can draw a self-portrait and fill in the empty spaces with words that describe themselves. Those very same blank spaces took up the entirety of my canvas. Incoherent strings of words spilling from my head, confusion amidst the possibility of printing down a form of myself. My hatred doesn't revolve around the mind that holds it. I simply know that the greatest version of Imani isn't in reach yet. Beauty is subjective. I am not. My passion can rival even the most successful of people. I also know that the canvas remained blank. I realize now the reason for my change of majors: choir to band, band to art, art to literature. Slowly, I've become better at creating new music, creating a new world, creating friends who only exist on paper and birthed in ink, creating a new identity, a new me, a new Imani. I told my family at first what I did not want to. I want to defy my gender, be anything and anyone I want. I will not try to be the perfect daughter, or son, or teenager. I will be myself. My love will be given to whoever I want, and whenever I want. Not above 16 though. Will see me succeed, and if that can only be accomplished in crimson and white man's glory, then it will be. Now I think back to the canvas in middle school. Maybe it is not so blank after all. And now is the second one, gender fluid. I am a girl when I wake up. Nimble fingers tingling in my locks. I try to rise like those princesses do in the movies, stretching my arms in the air, forming my lips to allow a yawn to spill from them. It's fake though. I don't yawn like this. I never stretch before I rise. But this morning, I do it anyway. I try to imagine a head full of blonde hair instead of dark twists, attempting to grow into locks. It never works though. My reflection isn't anyone but me. I'm a boy when I get to class. Earbuds pressed into my ears, an expression temporarily blank. When I do smile, it's brighter. My voice no longer has that hum it had earlier. It's deeper. I'm happy. My knuckles crack beneath my palm. I'm not ready to fight, but I can be. I will be. A hand rests in my pocket. The other always keeps my bag from toppling over my shoulder. I still step into the bathroom for females. I still feel my body growing beneath my gaze. I know I'm not a male. I wish I was. God, do I wish I was. I'm me when I close my front door. My bag falling onto the couch, my shoes kicked off in some corner of the room. I'm me now. I don't think of a head full of blonde hair or knuckles cracking beneath wisp of irrational anger. I don't think of impressing that one person in class, or maybe it's 2 or 3. Maybe I want to impress everyone. Not now though. My walls shelter any tears that may fall from my eyes. Girls can cry. They're allowed to be weak and vulnerable and cowardly. They're fragile little things. Boys can't cry. They're the spine of this society. Tears are what people will use to drown them, right? I'm not a girl now, or a boy. I'm me. Am I still able to cry?
That's 222. I love that, yeah. Big Mama gave me the look. I gotta do something.
She knows
You wanna
this
go
time
first?
I say my door.
You go first and then I'll close it out with music. We haven't had music, like, not for real. Hey, yo, that was dope though. I love, this is a true stage. I feel like when you come in this place, you just feel like you just gotta be honest and transparent.
Yeah.
And Imani answered my question, is it okay to be in touch with your emotions?
Yeah.
So, that was kind of dope, from a different perspective. You know, we're gonna bring Miss Tink back. And after Miss Tink, we're gonna bring me back. And that's gonna be the end of our show for Stickz and Stonez. We will be back next month. We do a Wednesday and we do a Saturday segment. So definitely grab a calendar. Well, that's for this month. See, there goes the weed. It's not me, doctor. You smell it? I get a contact every day. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. All right, so what was I saying? See, I don't know. I'm gonna tell y'all something really funny because okay, so anyway, Stickz and Stonez. So the calendar is for this month, but if you go to our website, you go to any of our media outlet platforms, you will see what we do every month and every day of the week. But we had like this business association meeting, what is it, neighbor association thing or whatever. And so how many of y'all know anything about Brooklyn Park like 5 years ago? Like, y'all know this north side. Y'all know what it was, right? So the others start to move in. I'm sorry, Sheila. I'm not racist, I'm just speaking the truth. The others start to move in, they start to buy up buildings, they start to move out us seniors out of their homes, fix up the homes, sell them for triple the price. Y'all know gentrification. So they do this, right? And then they come and they talk about the issues that have already been here. Right. And it's like, well, we're here and I'm afraid to walk from my home to my business, and it's only a block away. And I'm like, I ain't even from here, and I don't have a problem with it. So like, this is my thing. I don't care where you at, what you do, what color you are. You can't go into a roach-infested house, paint the walls, put nice furniture in there, give it a facelift, but you don't take care of the problems that were already there. Right. You can't come spend your money and say, I'm putting money into this house, but you're not understanding, first of all, the cause of the roaches, and how do we deal with them. And so I was just sitting there, because we new kids on the block. We only been in 5 months. We opened in January, so we're brand new. And I'm wondering why it's no other black-owned businesses in this meeting. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna have a ball up in here. And I'm gonna have some words for these others. And I'm gonna give them the real. But I was real chill the first thing. Because anybody know J.J. Minor? J.J. Minor, the president of NAACP, Dolores McQueen's son. J.J. Minor is a very outspoken man of the LGBTQ community. About 6'4". Tall, dark, and very outspoken. So he said everything that needed to be said. And I was just laughing because it was just interesting. But I just say that to say, like, when I spell and I get a contact, I know where I am. And I know that getting a business here is really me being here for the community, not to get rich off the community, but to enrich the community. And it's a difference. So I thank you guys for supporting us, for supporting what we do here, and just spending your green dollars. If we could take EBT or anything else, we would. Listen, we don't discriminate. Matter of fact, if you know anybody that got something to say, let's talk about y'all show some love for my sister, Miss Tink.
I think Max's comedy is rubbing off on you a little bit, teacher.
Actually, my comedy rubbed off on him.
Right.
My comedy rubbed off on him. I just have to be serious most of the time.
Okay. Shout out to Mama Low here. That's seafood is hitting as usual. If y'all ain't had the seafood salad, you need to try it. I'm trying to help you. Alright, so today's been about poetry, so I'm going to read this piece. I have never performed it, but I did publish it. This is another book that I did. It's called Tink, Talented and Never Ending Knowledge. So this one is called Poetry. Poetry is not a feeling, it's a state of mind. As similes and metaphors meet in my mind as I untwine, rewind, and replay, try to get my words to display the colorful features that come across my mainframe. As I download all the things I've been through and disregard it using the recycle bin, because there is no end to what I can do. Looking beyond me and you, looking at tomorrow, never today. Yesterday's problems have washed away. Time won't wait, so I won't waste it. Taking hits left and right like I'm in the ring fighting for my life. Standing up for me. See, life doesn't come with a feeling factor. It redacts and subtracts and gives back nothing. There's a start and an end. It began and an end. It will all soon end. So in the middle, you decide where you fit in. Poetry speaks to me. Like the Spirit speaks to Christians, like the mother to a baby that is yet born, like a teacher teaching a new lesson that you don't want to learn, but you listen. Poetry is therapy. It's healing me. when I needed me to see, to succeed, to believe. My pen guided me, never sent me on the right side before the left, never told what I haven't spoken on yet, but allowed me to vent. Even when I didn't make an ounce of sense, when my father took his last breath, poetry wrapped his arms around me, allowed my soul to cry. On miscarriage number 2, she came back to me and told me, dear, release that pain that you are holding in there. When my reality got too real, when I thought I was strong but felt weak, putting on a facade as though I was tough. Poetry said, look at here, chick, now that's enough. Read what you poured out of your heart. Those thoughts that consume you and tear you apart, you needed them now to be whole again, to be stronger, to fight, to no longer depend. No substance will heal that broken heart. You gotta face the mirror, pen in hand, and release it out. It may take a raw talent series or just a few lines, but see, poetry knows me. And when my pen glides, it's on a grind, a mission to empty my soul from within, to restore, rebuild, to allow me to be free again. When poetry comes and sits next to me, my mind doesn't overthink, it is blank. The words come from outer space, they formulate and find a way to be structured, with no thought, no cares, no stress, no fears. Poetry is that friend that truly cares. Poetry is healing, poetry is fun, poetry gets the job done. Poetry is poetic, prophetic. The best part of it all is I can talk about sunshine and hurricanes making no sense at all, but once I finish and the art is written, picture painted, soul elated, I can breathe. Properly processing and digesting as I dissect and redirect what is needed. See, I thought in the beginning poetry needed me, but I needed poetry so I can exist and resist the turbulence of this world. Poetry, poetry, poetry. I love you, girl.
All right.
Thank you.
I can see.
I bet you can't. You should see my face. I bet you they can tell you exactly how I'm looking at you through this wall. She know I got more.
Okay.
Wait, I'm passing it to you. I'm passing it. Yeah, I'm passing it to you.
Y'all show some love.
Give us 2 selections.
Two.
Unless you want to go amazing grace. Okay. You want to go amazing grace?
It's 2. That's going to be good. So I'm going to do an original song. And not because it's mine, I really. Alright, what's going on? Alright, so real quick, y'all be sure to also follow Miss Tink on all social media outlets because she does a lot too. She talked about me, but she does a lot too. She has a podcast where she gets like really dope artists and talent on there, talking about really good stuff, like really good conversations. So be sure to follow her. Follow Harlym Bluez. If you are not following us on social media, go follow us now. And let me see how many people we have in here. The 6th comment will get a free drink of our choice. Our choice, because we're poor. We ain't making it. But the sixth comment on our very last post today on Instagram will get a free drink. So I'm not gonna tell y'all the name again. You gotta go find it. Alright, let me see. there for me. Oh, you kept me. It was so hard to believe. But Jesus, I love you, I love you, because you care. I never would have thought, no, stay with you. Jesus, I love you, because you care. I never would have thought, no, still be here. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you, because you care. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you, because you care. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you, because you care. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you. Jesus, I love you, I love you, because you care, because you care, because you care, because you care, because you care. Because you care, 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 because you care. Because you care, because you care. Have I recorded this one?
Uh-huh.
I haven't. I kind of did a pre-production, but I haven't finished it, no.
Okay. I'll wait till
That's a song, though.
She said she waiting for me.
I'll wait.
Okay, what's the name? King.
Instagram King, I figured.
All right, we got a winner. What you want, shooter or Kool-Aid? Thank you so much, thank you so much. All right, y'all, so what I'm gonna do next?
Ain't that sugar? Ain't that sugar?
That's too original.
That's all right. That means you need to
I'm sorry, y'all. She asked me to do a song that I don't remember, but it's my song. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, let's see.
Little baby, don't say a word. It's gonna buy you a mockingbird. That mockingbird don't sing. It's gonna buy you a diamond ring. That diamond ring turns glass. Give you all my love. It's all I have. Didn't have the money to pay the rent. Check accounts that give you money spent. Your dad's long gone. I knew he did. Said this baby on welfare. He could never look me in the eyes and tell the truth, 'cause all he told us lies. Gotta do this on my own. 'Cause your daddy, he's gone. What is he, y'all? It's gonna buy you a mockingbird. That mockingbird don't sing. It's gonna buy you a diamond. Come on, Mom. That diamond ring turns right. I'll give you all my love. It's all I have. Economy's down. No one to help, nobody around. He said he'd be there to provide for us, and that he always cared. But that was so lies. He couldn't stand up, stand by our side. Should've known all along. But now I gotta be strong. Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. That diamond ring shine bright. Give you all my love. That's all I have. 'Cause little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring turns brass, I give you all my love. That's all I have. That's Hush Baby, y'all. That's on my album. You can go to YouTube and watch it for free. You can download it. Thank you so much. You can download it. Any of those great things. I actually wrote that song for my mom, being a single mother, and my brother, that big guy y'all see walking around. My baby, that's my baby brother. He wants, yes, he's only 21. He wanted to go see WWE fighting, but his daddy said that he didn't have the money to buy the ticket. So me being the big sister, no, I didn't take him, but I bought him and his daddy a ticket because I didn't want to see it. So I bought both tickets to go, and afterwards I was a little bit pissed, so I started writing, and this song is what came about. Because without our mothers, where would we be? I mean, you know, they're not perfect, right? But none of us would be here without a mother. Even if you are adopted, you wouldn't be here without the person that birthed you. Right? So, thank y'all so much. I was going to do a cover song, but Tink got me to do that one. And I think that's what my lungs are saying I got.
Yeah, good one.
And I was saying I was going to do a cover song, but you got me to do that one, so we're done. I can't.
Tink did not come to play with you hoes. I came to slay, bitch.